brewers, and welcome to my channel. So, I got one of those ideas in my head. I was going to be making a tea wine, because we all know that tea wines are actually pretty good. You can add a small amount of ingredients to your tea, and it brews up beautifully. Really easy. But I wanted to try something different today. What I'm going to be doing is trying to make a quick and easy drink using tea and hops. Let's find out how this turns out. So the idea is pretty straightforward. The main ingredient that we're going to be using for flavour is our hops. Now I happen to have Bulldog's finishing hops. They are Strasserspalt. Weird name. But they are hopped tea bags, which is pretty apt since we're doing a tea brew. So these particular ones I actually got from Baba Hallo. They were reduced. I'm not sure if they're there, but I'll put the link in the description below to see if there are still some, because they were only like 25p a pack. That's pretty cool. For those people that don't live in the UK or have went there and they don't have them, I will put some links down to Amazon to, funny enough, a load of hops, because, well, hops are cool and there are so many different types. So they'll be down in the description if you want them. So the plan is to brew up some tea and to dry hop this so we get the aromas and flavours. Now, Strasserspalt finishing hops, they're mainly used for kind of like bittering and stuff like that, but we're going to be dry hopping. It's supposed to have like a citrus and spicy flavour, but we all know that sometimes what they say it tastes like and what it actually tastes like is two different things. So it's a 2-in-1 video. So let's start. So the great thing about making tea brews is they're actually relatively quick and easy, so hopefully this should be a relatively short video. So what you're going to need: 8 tea bags. Now the idea is I'm going to be using the tea itself as kind of the bittering agent, because I don't really want the hops for that, I want that for the flavours. So I have 8 Thai Fu tea bags, which I am putting in a clean but not sterilised jug, because we're going to be adding boiling water. And I'm just going to do a cheeky litre of this. Like so. Looking pretty. So now we just leave these to stew for about 10 minutes, which is cool. So while our tea is basically stewing away, making a good solid brew, gives us time to sterilise our fermenter. In my case, a 5-litre water container. That is because these hot tea bags fit inside this cap very easily and I can get them back out, whereas the 4.5-litre tiny little glass fermenters look pretty, really difficult to get tea bags out. So I'm using a combination of bleach, washing up liquid and water to sterilise this lovely beautiful thing. And I'm going to go rinse this out, make sure it doesn't smell of bleach, and by the time I come back this is going to be ready, which is pretty handy. So at this point this is now sterilised, doesn't smell of bleach on the inside or outside, and I've put the lid on and sealed it, so it's as sterile as it's gonna get. Now our tea is looking lovely dark and black. It smells like tea. Now don't worry, the finished product doesn't actually smell of tea, it's just mainly for tannins, a little bit of bitterness. So now comes the fun bit, take it out of the tea bags. Oh yeah. Looking good. Still very hot. Voila. Now, we're going to be adding sugar to this. Now, of course, you can add honey for different effect, but I don't know how this is going to turn out, so I can use cheaper products. If this works out good, I can always switch to honey later on. Adds a whole new aspect to it. So, I want to add half a kilo, which is approximately 5%. Now, you can measure it out, or, in my case, guesstimate. It doesn't matter if it's 5 or 6%, so just roughly take it out. Pretty close. Now stir it all in. Now you can just add the sugar straight in the demijohn, add cold water and shake it like you mean it. But it deserves better in hot water, so I'm just going to dissolve this. So I've dissolved approximately half a kilo in. Now, obviously you can adjust the sugar quantity to your own specifications. Ish works fine for me. I don't really like to spend too much time measuring it out, especially when it comes to sugars. 1 kilo, 11%, half kilo, 5.5. It's about right in a 5-litre container. Anyway, so I have added some water into here, so when I add the hot liquid, the cold water counterbalances it out, just to make sure that we don't damage the plastic. We don't want it to shrink. So let's pour in our lovely tea. So I've added a funnel which I have boiled to scorch, because, well, I know what I'm like. I like to drop things everywhere, so let's try not to do this. There we go. So 8 tea bags has given us a nice kind of dark colour, as you can see. So now, yeah, it's not too warm either. Let's open up these hops. I'm interested to see what they smell like. Ooh, interesting. So what you get is a 12-gram sachet of hops in a little bag. Isn't that cool? They do kind of smell kind of woody, a little bit of citrusy in there. I think this will be quite good for dry hopping. There is something else. Not sure. Kind of floral. I think that's the word I'm looking for. But either way, this I can put in and I can fish it back out. In theory. If you do this with a glass one and you can't get this thing out, it's a bit of a waste. So in this goes. Now I'm going to top it up to the 5-litre mark, which I handily marked from my sugar wine video, and top this up. See you in a minute. So I have topped it up to the 5-litre mark. Lovely. So now it's time to start preparing it. So I've got myself some yeast nutrient. I also have a scorched teaspoon and a scorched fork, just in case when I take a hydrometer reading, I need to know what's inside. But I'm going to give it a shake first. So in goes 1 teaspoon, because, well, tea doesn't, and sugar doesn't really have a lot of nutrient. So 1 teaspoon of yeast nutrient. And I will be adding in some ale yeast, because, well, technically it's kind of hoppy and it's low alcohol, so why not? Let's see what this does. Add it in. And let's give this a shake, and then we'll take a hydrometer reading just to see what it is, because I'm interested to know. Looking good, well mixed, and yeah, it's got a nice head on it. So I'll just let this settle, and we'll be back for the hydrometer reading. So it took a little while for the bubbles to clear. They're still not fully cleared, but enough to take a hydrometer reading. Hopefully this won't be a puker. Hopefully. It does get a little foamy when shaken, so... But it smells interesting. It's already starting to kind of get that spicy floral smell from the hops. Because funny enough, these 12-gram bags are meant for 25 litres of beer. So in goes my sterilised hydrometer. And let's see what this comes out at. This is why I had the fork, in case I needed to move the tea bag. So we are in the beer range. It's saying 6% on here. Actually bobbing right at the 6% mark. So that is 1.03246. 1.036. So, what can I say? It was pretty close. And considering we're using a beer yeast, it should finish somewhere around the 5.5% mark, depending on how it's feeling. So, I'm going to put my lid on and give it a little quarter turn, so it's got plenty of room to move, but it still holds on flat. And I'm just going to leave this to ferment. So in theory, this should take about 2 weeks to brew. And if it works, I mean, this is a 2-ingredient brew, really. Well, 3, including the sugar. But 2 ingredients, and it looks kind of like a beer. It's already starting to smell like hops. I don't know why anyone hasn't done it before, but I've seen or heard about. So, I really hope you enjoyed the video, giving you some ideas for making some of your own weird, unique recipes. And of course, check out some of the other videos, and of course subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Carry on homebrewing. Hot tea.